Now, there is a company called Whistle Africa Tours and Events. Okay? Its founder is our next guest in the studio, Jeremiah Njanja, who is also the team leader at the Hell's Gate Biking Festival. Jeremiah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for occupying the hot seat of the Situation Room this morning. Karibu sana. CT Muga has the day's proverb before you start telling us about biking at Hell's Gate in Naivasha.
Sure.
Our proverbs for the whole of this week, ending tomorrow, come from the Federal Republic of Somalia. Okay? This is the proverb. Women look for a lost camel in their bosom.
Women look for a lost camel in their bosom. Jeremiah, what do you think this proverb is saying?
Women look for things where they can't be found. My thinking.
Women look for things where they can't be found. Where things don't exist.
Yeah, because it's hard to find a camel, a lost camel.
Eric, it's rich.
Yeah, okay. It's what this guy is saying.
That's what it means. And you're looking for things where they cannot be found. It is where they don't exist.
All right.
It's a Somali proverb.
It's like looking for snow at Hell's Gate.
Sure.
Not possible.
Impossible.
Doesn't stop you from looking, though.
Yeah. You can keep looking. Okay. Let's first of all tell us about the Whistle Africa Tours and Events. What's that?
So, Whistle Africa Tours and Events is a company that deals in organizing tours for private and group travelers. Then we also deal in event management and event organizing.
Okay.
And that's how we came up with the Hell's Gate Biking Fest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Hell's Gate Biking Fest.
So Hell's Gate Biking Fest is the biggest cycling festival that is scheduled to happen on 19th and 20th of August at Hell's Gate National Park. I've said biggest because this is the first event of this kind, whereby we've incorporated families, we've incorporated professional riders, we've incorporated anyone who can ride and anyone who cannot ride to come together for the sustainability and for the environment awareness of Hell's Gate. That is focused towards the economic and the socio-economic sustainability of Hell's Gate and its environs.
By bike here, what do we mean?
By bike, we mean cycling, pedaling, the cycle.
Bicycle.
Yeah, bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the one that you have to pedal yourself, not those battery-powered bicycles.
We have battery-powered bicycles for people who don't want to sweat while they're riding. But we
are those allowed
in
this fest? Yes,
they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why biking and why Hell's Gate?
Number one, Hell's Gate is the most scenic park in the country. Then it's one of the parks that you can actually walk around the whole park and cycle around the whole park without having a worry of attack from animals. We have resident animals which make it actually even more engaging. We have giraffes, we have buffaloes, we have elands, and other resident animals. But at Hell's Gate, it's the only place where you'll find animals that don't actually charge to people. So the choice of Hell's Gate is because you can cycle from gate A to gate B to gate C and around the whole park without having the worry of attack from animals. Then it's also the most scenic parks, having been graced by towering rocks. I don't know whether either of you have been to Hell's Gate. It's beautiful with the star rocks and the cliffs that make it more scenic.
It's very scenic, but it has baboons.
Yeah, and
scenic, but it has baboons.
Baboons are some of the resident animals that make your engagement in Hell's Gate more interactive. And the baboons at Hell's Gate, I have to mention, they don't actually steal
The
from.
baboons are
They don't attack.
Yeah, they don't attack.
That was really my query.
That was it.
That was it, because
Yeah.
the baboons themselves may be as calm as you claim, but the problem is, how do you prevent people who come to Hell's Gate from feeding baboons? Because when you feed them, then you get them into the habit of expecting food, and when you don't feed them, they will then take your food,
Yeah.
and they will even attack you in the process. And baboons can be fairly vicious. That is where I was going with the but
Your
baboon
baboon scare.
statement. Yes.
So let's look at this bike festival.
Yeah.
So what's the inspiration behind doing this and having this coming up this time?
The conversation behind cycling in Kenya is normally revolves around professional bikers, and you'll find recreational bikers just do it on their own. So the concept behind this event is to bring together recreational bikers and the professional bikers. Then remember, there are people who would love to cycle, but they don't know how to cycle. Or they have friends who cycle and they would love to see them race or just ride for fun. So it's an event that we've brought together everyone so that we can have a community of cycling that now involves anyone who's an enthusiast to the cycling community. Yeah.
Have you organized such kind of festivals in other areas, like biking events?
Yes, but for professionals and at Hell's Gate on small scale. However, this time we from the feedback that we've been getting from the previous events that we've done, we decided to go big and just do a national event that anyone can be part of. Yeah.
Hell's Gate is managed by KWS.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so there is controlled entry, controlled exit.
Yes.
And there are things that you're supposed to do you're not supposed to do when you're in Hell's Gate. There are, of course, those safety messages that you're given. For example, make sure that you don't walk in near the gorges at specific times of the year because flash floods and all. Now, how are you working with the managers of the park, KWS, in organizing this festival to ensure safety and ensure that you actually leave the environment better than you found it?
So actually, Kenya Wildlife Services are our primary partners in this event. There are a set of rules that you have to abide with while you are inside a park. So we are using our own security agencies and the security force, because remember, Kenya Wildlife Services has their own security force and their conservers. So we're also using their own security personnel to ensure that this set of rules are actually followed. Nobody is feeding the animals, as he asked about feeding baboons. Nobody is going to the gorges, which are actually at the moment still closed. And we've also done an environment impact assessment in conjunction with the Nakuru County and NEMA, which KWS will also have an input in to ensure that we don't interfere with the environment and we leave it better than we found it. Yes.
Who are the other partners? So KWS is a primary partner.
Is a primary
because
partner.
They're managing the park.
Yes.
Are you working with others, environmental partners and such?
At this moment, we work it with Nakuru County for the environment department. Yes.
Okay. So obviously funds are being raised, right?
Yes.
Environment is front and center of this festival. What projects then will be supported as folks raise money from biking?
Our primary project that we are focusing with the event is refurbishment of a camping site. So there are several camping sites within Hell's Gate. Also, the goal for this event is also to raise Hell's Gate as the best biking and camping destination. So we want to refurbish one of the camping sites within the park to ensure that people who come to cycle don't leave the park in the evening to go and camp somewhere else in Naivasha. They do camp within the park. Yes.
Explain to me camping. What's the idea about camping? What is it that if one wanted to camp, what would you tell someone to attract them, to make them want to camp?
Camping is stylish in its own way.
Sounds like suffering though, but go ahead.
Not really. You can imagine
soft life.
Yeah.
City Muga, soft life, same was up.
But go on.
Yeah. So you can imagine camping outdoors in a park. Yes.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
baboons. Yes.
Live on baboons. Camping with giraffes.
Under the
giraffes.
night sky,
The stars
open
are twinkling.
skies, stars,
Yeah.
The moon in all her glory.
So
and then seeing
camping.
distant lights from up there, it's lovely.
Camping gives you the only experience that you can actually experience nature before, during, and after your sleep.
Oh,
Yes.
You're expected to sleep.
Yeah, you expect it to
everything
sleep.
he has described guarantees I will not sleep.
Yeah. It's all fun. If you stay up all night, actually, and
That
you are
is
just stargazing, it's okay. You come with your telescope and make sure that you spend your night there now just looking at the stars and saying, okay, so what is this?
That's Orion.
All right, that's the one I studied. Oh, look at your book, take notes.
It's a one
See?
in a lifetime
That's
experience.
all fun.
Okay.
That's all fun.
Yeah.
What would you tell people who are like City, who hear camping and they just see small tent, wind,
Baboon.
baboons and other wild animals?
Snakes.
Yeah, and those kind of things, snakes and such other creepy
Leopards.
crawlers. What do you tell such people?
The main idea behind camping is not actually the just sleeping in a tent with animals around you. It's the therapy that comes with camping.
Therapy.
Because remember, you're used to sleeping in a bed in a house for like 363 days.
From
Then
the-
it's
I thought
this
it was
one day that you spend
366 years.
for all the years, yeah. Then you have this one experience that you're now sleeping outside in a not very comfortable mattress, and you are
It's called a
outdoors
sleeping bag.
in the wild. Yeah. Then you have all those sounds of the animals that you say.
Proximity to the sights and sounds.
Yeah.
Proximity to nature.
Then the sights are just amazing because actually with the projection with this event in August, you will see clear skies in Naivasha. So you can imagine staring at the skies before you sleep. You might even end up not sleeping. Then you are out with your pals at a camping fire before you take your nap.
Camping fire.
Campfire Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
now that, before you even go to sleep. I'm just picturing this thing, City. Should give it a try. What do you do about the noises? Here we are talking about people who really have fear about camping, and maybe they may want to actually participate in this event just for this one experience. I want to deal with my fears, camping, or what kind of fears I have. So they are fearing just hearing those things. You're hearing a hyena in the middle of the night. You don't know how far it is. You can't see it. You're just hearing something making noise.
Yeah.
Other things, you don't know what those ones are. You're just hearing noises.
Yes.
Okay. What do you tell such people? I mean, what is it that you do when you hear those kind of noises? Do you come out? Do you conjure yourself in your sleeping bag? Or do you call and talk to people at home and tell them, you know what?
Last scene. Last scene in a tent.
Okay, so in camping, we have actually to provide security. Whenever you're camping, you camp with security. A person who understands nature, a person who understands different animals, how they behave. Someone who can tell the proximity of an animal with just hearing the sound. Then you don't have to worry about the sounds because that's what makes camping fun.
So now you wait out for the sounds and you start thinking, can you identify that sound? What's that? Oh, that sounds like a zebra.
Yeah. Actually, it's more fun when you're two in a tent and you're just enjoying and trying to brainstorm around which animal is that.
What you're saying,
Yes.
I understand, but there are people who grew up in an environment not very dissimilar to that one in their youth. where when it was nighttime, it was pitch dark. There were no street lights, there was nothing. And in your everyday walkabout, you came across animals. Yeah. Just going about your business, going probably to a shopping center. As for snakes, those are things you encountered inside the house very, very often. So you understood. Either you just fall asleep because they're not going to jump, or once in a while you find a snake has gotten into the bed. Yes. As for wild animals, it's not unusual for you to stay up at night because there are wild pigs probably coming to eat your maize or something of that sort. I am talking about an environment in which I lived in every time I went to visit my grandparents, which was every school holiday. Okay? So, and when you went to visit relatives, the idea of sleeping, this thing of sleeping on a bed and a mattress came much later. You slept on a reed mat. Now that reed mat, there was nothing between you and the reed mat except your body, okay?
Yes.
But you had a blanket to keep you warm. Now the thing about the reed mat is when you woke up in the morning, there were lines right across your face.
You became one.
It was imprinted in your face. But it wasn't an issue. Now that I think about it, it's what you call orthopedic, meaning keeps your back straight. Now, somebody who went through that, and most of the time when you went anyway, you actually walked. When you then tell me that it is leisure to walk, I really wonder what on earth you're talking about. Because walking for me was an order of the day. Somebody who grew up running to school, you tell them, you'll be going up this trail, they're wondering, what are you talking about? You see, that for them is normal. So it isn't something that they would consider leisurely. Now, the health aspects of it are phenomenal.
Yes. When
you go through that process, you may not know it, but you're doing yourself a very big favor later on in years. So when I was asking the benefits of camping.
Yes.
As a child, when I went home, when there was a full moon, everybody went out to play because it was one big party, a full moon.
Yes.
And you actually saw the moon because, as I said, the light of the moon was not interfered with by anything because there was no electricity. Now, when somebody talks about going somewhere near the wild, there are those who probably didn't experience this. When you talk about it, it's something they'll consider adventurous. There are people like me who will not consider it a big adventure. My children might, but I wouldn't consider it an adventure. So I have to be told of something else within that setup that I might find interesting. That is really what I was getting at. And I'm sure there is. I am certain there is. Yes.
So for this and for Hell's Gate, camping in the wild, I'll have to say you'll just have to come and experience it yourself. And you'll see.
I think I need to take you to my rural home.
And actually, talking about your children saying they might like the adventure, we're also encouraging people to come and camp with their kids.
Even for him, he's talking about things that he did decades ago, all right? And then, for him, because he was the visitor in that environment, it was something unique and scenic. For the boys who lived and girls who lived there, it was normal. For them, it was normal, all right? But now, if they have moved and transitioned from that life, going back into the wild is something different. And this is actually even different because you're not in a village with your neighbors. You don't know Mama so-and-so's house is there and Babu so-and-so's house is there. This is basically you're out there in the wild completely. And this is wild animal territory. And then you're seeing all these cliffs jutting and pointing to the sky. And there are no sounds of chicken or cows. There's nothing like that. The sound that you'll hear of a bird will be a bird. The sound you hear of something sounding like a cow will not be a cow.
Definitely.
So the experience is all different.
A growl of thunder sounds like a dog. It will not be a dog.
First of all, Jeremiah, when is this festival?
19th and 20th of August.
So the 19th and 20th of August.
Yes.
In Hell's Gate. 2 days of biking and camping and 1 night of camping.
Yeah.
Or you can make it 2 nights of camping.
1 night of camping.
Okay. 1 night of camping. What does one need to do to register?
So to register, you have to. We have two types of registration. We have registration for cyclists, which is through our website. That is www.healthgatebikingfest.com. And then for festival tickets, for people coming for fun, it's the tickets are available on Ticket Sasa. Yes.
Oh, so there are two categories of people.
Yes.
You can come there to bike.
Yes.
And you can just come there as a spectator.
Yes.
Festival.
Yes.
So what, as a spectator, what will I be doing on this 19th and 20th during the day? Just walk about?
Not really.
That's
so
what maybe CT was asking. So apart from biking, what else?
Yeah, so for spectators, we have a lineup of activities. We have number one, a partners expo. We have very kind partners who've come on board to support this event. So they have an exhibition space where they'll be showcasing their products. Then for people coming with their kids, we have a kids area that is fully equipped with kids activities, including trampolines, bouncing castles, and entertainment to make sure that your kid goes home better than they came. Then we also have a beer village for people who want to refresh themselves while at the event, which of course comes with a food street and a fashion street. Yeah, so we have you occupied if you're not riding. However, we are telling people that cycling is for everyone. Riding is for everyone. So you come to Hell's Gate, as you have fun, also make sure that you cycle.
Is there going to be a number of bikes there for hire?
Yes, yes.
Are there bike vendors, like, you can come in, take a bike, pay X amount for the day and return it in the evening?
So for the bike hire, we're working with a local community at Hell's Gate. So there are guides at Hell's Gate National Park at the gate who have about 300 to 500 bikes. So they'll be in the park that day to hire to people who don't come with their bikes. However, because of the numbers that we're expecting, we're also working with other people that will come and hire out bikes. For camping, we have people who are coming also to hire out camping. So each campsite will have a person hiring you a camping gear, fully equipped with the camping tent, mattress, and a blanket. So you don't have to worry about carrying anything. You can just come as you are. And we have food, we have refreshments, we have camping tents, we have bikes. The only thing missing at Hell's Gate
is you.
So then is also the encouragement to get people, even after this event or after this festival, to come back to Hell's Gate and see then what it has to offer in terms of scenic views and things like this. So it's a festival, but it's a showcase of what Hell's Gate is. Yes. Would you say that?
Yes, sure. Because most people have not been to Hell's Gate. Most people get to Naivasha and maybe turn back. So that day we have races that showcase a better part of Hell's Gate. We have family fun races which cut across the most scenic route in the park. Then we have professional races which now goes around the whole park. Then we also have guided tours for that day. You can pick a guide and they will take you to safe areas in Hell's Gate, which you can go with your family and see the beauty that Hell's Gate has to offer. Yes.
I'm not hearing you mention environmental activities, yet this is supposed to be for the environment.
Yeah, of course. So the idea behind the environment is that, so number one, I'll start with the basic statistics of carbon emission, which motorized transport accounts for 25% of carbon emissions in the world. And then in Kenya, it also accounts for about 37% of the carbon emissions that come from industry. So transport accounts to that. So Hell's Gate is to encourage people of how stylish riding a bike is. And you can ride to work, you can ride to school, you can just take a bike over the weekend, you don't need to take your car, so that we can conserve the environment, because number one, bikes have zero emissions. Then, which means we also have a reduced carbon print. Then we also have less noise pollution because bikes don't have so much noise as you ride. Then we also have a conservation of energy because, as you know, with the crisis of fossil fuels and energy, the only energy that a bike needs is from within your body to cycle. So this conserves the environment and also conserves the energy. Then I'll also have to mention that this event is a plastic-free event.
Okay.
Because there are rules that are within the park. And also, as the event organizers, we have our own rules to make sure that we've left as little impact on the environment in Hell's Gate as possible. So we are encouraging our participants and the spectators and the vendors that will not be allowing any plastic in the park. So if you need water, you have to come with your own reusable bottle. If you are a vendor, we won't allow you to vend anything in plastic.
This is disposable plastic.
Disposable
Because I
plastic.
can come with my plastic water bottle
Yes.
and go back with it.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
even the plates can be plastic as long as you carry.
Sure.
Jeremiah, you're a biker, right?
A recreational biker.
A recreational biker.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So a recreational biker is someone who just takes their bike on the weekend and maybe join a group and have a fun ride along. Or just go to a place like Hell's Gate over the weekend and do maybe 10 kilometers. Yeah. Then now, unlike professional bikers who now do 100, 200, 300 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I see on weekends people posting that they've been riding and they've done 40 kilometers, they've done 50 kilometers. Have you done that?
Myself, the farthest I've done is, I think, 30 kilometers.
But
Yeah. You know, as a recreational biker, you're just riding for fun. So it's depends with where your energy takes you, and the goal that you have for the event.
Oh, okay. So what about folks who've not ridden, regularly, or maybe be, newbie riders, and they want to participate in this event? You just trot along until you finish, kind of thing, and is everybody welcome, essentially?
Yes. So we have people who train you to ride a bicycle if you don't know how to ride one.
Well, it's going to be difficult to learn how to ride for the festival, right? Or on the go. Should you have at least a little bit of knowledge of riding before you then register for the festival?
No, not really, because riding just needs you to balance on the bicycle.
and fall 3 times.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I actually think that is a very good idea. Because if you can't ride, you're being told you're not left out. It means you never learn to ride, so you have an opportunity to learn how to ride.
Yeah.
So that in itself is a good thing. Because there are people who may want to ride, but they've never ridden a bike.
Yeah.
Because you need to have ridden a bike somewhere along the line.
least.
Or somewhere in your life, in an earlier time of your life. And you actually never forget how to ride a bike once you've
No, you
learned.
don't.
And actually, I have never heard of a situation where, that's a good innovation, where you're actually telling people, you come.
Yeah.
There'll be biking lessons.
Yes.
Yeah. And learning how to ride doesn't take you long, because as long as you know how to balance on the bike, you're good to go. Then as long as you have a professional training you. Yeah, because I know most of us have a bad experience of when you're trained by your brother or your sister or your uncle, and they just push you.
You have no idea.
You have to fall 3 times.
Yeah.
Once
3
you fall
times.
3 times,
Fall 3 times,
now
you're
you're
good to go.
You're thinking falling. Someone takes you to a place where there's a bit of a dip. Then they pretend they're holding, then they push you. Well, you are going to balance.
you will learn.
You will balance.
We have professionals on crowd who will handle you well, and make sure in about an hour or 2 hours you can at least balance on the bicycle, and then on the following day you can actually ride on your own.
How would you advise somebody who just wants to get into biking? I mean, what do they need? What do they need? What's a biker's starter pack? What shoe? What kind of protective gear? What kind of bike?
The biggest biker starter pack is passion. The passion to ride, the passion to know how to ride. And then, of course, there's now all the safety measures that comes around with it, of putting on a helmet, a reflector when you're on the road. And the last one is owning a bike, which people think you should actually own a bike first and know how to ride. Yeah, because as long as you have a passion, you can hire a bike on the weekend. You can come to the events like ours and hire a bike. Yes. So it's passion, then just knowing the safety around biking, and now owning a bike.
And then these bikes that have gears, what are those gears? Do you teach people, so this one on this right hand is for this on the left hand? If you learned how to ride a bike with, what are these called? This?
A professional...
No.
Black Mamba.
We're talking about
The Black Mamba.
If your first experience with a bike was a Black Mamba,
Yes.
right? Where the gear is the energy.
The gear is one.
It's one gear.
You
And now we have these other gears that have, they have got the gears, the bikes that have got gears and all.
Yeah.
So how would you progress somebody into those ones?
So for starters, we'll train you with the basic gears. Then as you advance, you get to learn actually on your own different gears that are used. But we'll give you a brief on this gear is used on a mountain. This gear is used on a downhill. Yeah, but ideally you learn with the basic gear, close to the Black Mamba that you're saying. Yes.
What do you hope to achieve, apart from the environmental aspects of this and saying, okay, well, money raised will go towards, facelift and things like this at Hell's Gate? What do you hope to achieve in the hearts and minds of folks who are going to attend this festival or participate?
So number one is the awareness of cycling as a lifestyle kind of a transport. And the other one is now to achieve the awareness of Hell's Gate is the best biking and camping destination, because you can't actually explain Hell's Gate enough. You just have to come and see it yourself. Even on photos, I've never seen a photo that has done Hell's Gate justice. You just have to come and see the beauty in Hell's Gate.
Actually, because photographs will focus on a certain feature of Hell's Gate.
Yes.
And then when you get there, you realize that there's a lot more to Hell's Gate than just the rocks. There's a lot more to Hell's Gate than just, remember the creatures I spoke about earlier on. Yes.
All the gorges.
All the gorges. There's a yes.
Yeah.
But let me ask this question.
Yes.
Before setting up this particular process that we are now talking about, have you had similar events before? Maybe of a smaller nature? Or what is it that gave you the idea that there might be a demand, or there might be people who would be willing or who might be interested in participating in such a thing?
We have had small scale biking events.
Yes.
And every time we host a subsequent event, we keep on receiving the same people. Same people meaning repeat clients and people who come with their friends. So I started making inquiries of these repeat guests, of what drives you to come again and again and again. Then I realized there's so much passion in people in riding in scenic areas. Yeah. So this is what drove us to choose Hell's Gate, because it's the most scenic park. Then it's the safest park to ride in. So that's the drive that came along with it. Yeah. Then, as I said, we are also looking to bring together a community of bikers and non-bikers together, which actually, if you look at it, can also reduce the rough interaction that we have with bikers on our roads. Because if you've seen someone ride for fun or racing to win, and you appreciate biking, and you've rode on a bike yourself, you won't harm anyone on the road. Yeah, so it's also in terms of safety. Enlightening non-bikers on bikers are just people like you, and it's a stylish thing that you can also do apart from driving in your car. Yeah.
One of the things that I have often found interesting is how it is something that begins simply as an individual recreational activity can actually pull so many people together. I'm saying this because I noticed bikers during the COVID period. Because I would go to the place I buy newspapers in the morning and I'd find them like around 12 people. And it's not just a certain age group. It's mixed gender, younger. And I even had a conversation with one person once and asked, how is it that you people are here at this hour? Because it was early, around 6:30 in the morning. And they explained to me and said why it is they're there and what they're doing. And I kept seeing them. And then I would see them on the road, actually.
Yeah.
But when COVID ended, I don't see them anymore.
Oh, people are there, cyclists are there.
Yes.
In organized groups. It's only that we don't have as many events and big events to bring people together. So, because every weekend you will hear of cycling events, but small-scale cycling events, which might not maybe catch your attention. But the cycling community is very big in Kenya. Then also, I would say maybe the government also doesn't really support the cycling community, because I was looking at the statistics, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report, and you can't see anywhere the statistics to do with bicycle or cycling. The only part that you see cycling being mentioned is in fatal accidents or pedaling accidents that have occurred. So, being that it's not yet recognized as a sport, whether recreational or professional in the country, you might not hear it. You might have just seen it in during the COVID times when everyone was proactive, keeping fit.
Okay.
And
You've answered the question that was in my mind, because I was wondering where they went to. And if there are small biking events taking place every once in a while, it means the biking is alive.
Yes, very much.
So essentially what you're saying is that an event such as yours is a much bigger event that brings all these small communities of bikers together.
Yes. Yes, sure.
Makes perfect sense.
And these things actually have, taken root. So we have bikers, we've got motorcycle riders, we've got people who go hiking. So people who are just hiking enthusiasts and they're planning the next hike, going to various different places, small hills, big hills, elephant hills, mountains. And then there are those who are just onto camping. And they look at places where they'll go and where are we going to have a most clear sky? On this weekend, and they basically chasing the sunsets and skies and night skies, and camping becomes a whole communities that have come together into this. It creates that whole social connection, because you're here with people who are initially they were strangers. Now you become friends, you become a new family and people who have something in common, and all these things are about exercise. So there's the healthy side to it and appreciation of nature. When you're out there camping, hiking, riding, you're appreciating nature. How can all these groups be used better to champion environmental conservation?
Through, number one, events like this, whereby you bring all these groups together towards a common conversation. Because remember, when you have so many organized groups, every group is targeted towards maybe helping a children's home somewhere, another one towards conservation, another one just for fun. But when we come together in an event like this, have all these groups coming together for a common conversation towards environment and towards raising the conversation that biking is actually the most sustainable form of transport. It's only when we can achieve this goal. And remember, there are countries like Netherlands where 51% of the population actually do cycle on day-to-day basis to work, over the weekend.
Like daily, like it's become normal for them. Like for Steve Menya, who says he rides his bike every day from Pangani to Kiambu. That's 12 kilometers, 24 kilometers daily.
And that's daily.
70 minutes only.
only.
So it's something that can be done, and it's something that we are up to the task to make sure that we've brought everyone together through this event.
I also like the potential of what this could do. Maybe you could speak to that as well, because you're going to Hell's Gate is a national park,
Yep.
Yes.
right? And there's always a push to have local tourism beefed up. So here you are looking at the healthy side as well as the environment or conservatory side. But then there's also the tourism aspect that we look at, and the push for local tourism to contribute significantly to the tourism agenda in the country. So do you see this as something that could grow? So you're riding what? How many kilometers is it going to ride during the festival? How many would you ride during the festival?
For professionals, it's 50 kilometers.
50 kilometers, yeah?
Yeah, for recreational riders, it's about 10 kilometers.
Right. So then you could see yourself. I mean, also you talked about the safety of the park in terms of animals and things like that.
Yeah.
But then also there are other parts of the country then that could be elevated as well to get more Kenyans going to Kenya's tourist destinations
Yes.
and building up that number within Kenya. Could you see something develop out of that so that you start to rack up the numbers from within the country?
Yeah, sure. And actually, also the part of the goals that we have for this event is to remind people that Hell's Gate is still there, and you can visit Hell's Gate in the moment, and it's safe. Because remember when the gorges were closed some years back,
Yep.
and the gorges used to be the iconic attraction to Hell's Gate. So people actually think Hell's Gate is still close to date, but Hell's Gate has so much more to offer. So these events like this are held in a park, actually open up the park, and people see that there are other things that you can come and do with your family and your pals. Yeah.
First Lady Rachel Ruto
Yeah.
is a biker. So you've got, at the highest level, some very big visibility. Have you reached out to her office and the team that she supports in riding?
Yes, we've reached out to the office. And we are in conversation with the team, that is Mama Cycling,
Yes.
in terms of how we can partner for this particular event. So far, we've not locked any partnership, but they are very interested, and I believe she's also interested. That's why the office reached out to us. Yes.
What do you think, now that we have such kind of visibility and at such a high level of the First Lady of the country actually being an avid biker and having her own, mama team for biking and promoting biking, where do you see biking in the next, let's say, in the next 5 years in this country?
In the next 5 years, I see a more safe environment to ride. Because if we have a recognition at the, I would call it at a presidential level, that means that bikers are in the mind of the First Lady and most probably in the president's mind. So I can see better roads built with cycling routes in Kenya. Then I can see biking being recognized as a sport in the Ministry of Sports. Yeah, and I can also see more people coming to biking, because remember there are people who still have the notion that cycling is for men. And here we have a First Lady who's cycling, and she's a woman. So I see more biking becoming a cross-gender sport, where more women are encouraged to bike, and more men are coming to the sport. Yeah.
Once again, 19th and 20th of August, that's when the Hell's Gate Biking Festival is taking place. And you can register by going to the Hell's Gate Biking Fest
.com. www.hellsgatebikingfest.com.
That's where you register.
Yes.
And on Ticketsasa, you can find the other tickets.
The participants' tickets.
Participants' tickets.
Yes.
Sawa kabisa. Somebody saying, yani kuzoea shida ni ngumu. Mpaka Hell's Gate haistui City Muga.
Point.
Jeremiah Njanja is the team leader, Hell's Gate Biking Festival. He's been our guest.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.